Politics and immigration can probably not be separated from one another. One is being directly linked to another. And therefore, with all the predictions happening for an early Canadian election sometime before 2025, or maybe sometime before October 2025 to be specific, I thought it is highly important for us to understand, at least based from my opinion and experience and working knowledge of the similar situations, and correlating that with the previous conservative government to sort of analyze that if there is an election happening soon, and if the liberal government is being replaced by conservative, the potential impact it will have on the Canadian immigration landscape. I am Niladri Mukherjee. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and as an organization, we predominantly deal with critical immigration related issues, which comes to PFL, inadmissibility, criminal rehabilitation, HNC, and the similar stuff. So, the Justin Trudeau government is in power since 2015, close to 10 years now. Prior to that, we had conservative government led by Mr. Stephen Harper. If you are able to research on the policies, the immigration policies of the Stephen Harper government, and try to correlate that with the current liberal government policies, you will find a lot of dissimilarities. Okay, and there's a lot of dissimilarities. The more and more you go into the detail, you will find there is always that fine print in the detail that are very, very different from the current government as compared to the previous government. Sometimes people tend to think that a liberal government means a liberal immigration policy and a conservative government means a conservative immigration policy. All right, so let's just try to understand, at least from my experience, what are the areas where I think there will be significant changes. Number one, there will be, the new conservative government is definitely lowered down the immigration numbers. So this 500,000, 485,000, whatever that you're seeing these days, are going to be lowered down. I don't think the change is going to be happening drastically, but I do firmly believe that if the government comes to power in, let's say, towards the end of 2024 or towards the beginning of 2025, you will see a drop in the 2025 annual numbers. That bound to happen. Number two, the visitors, the workers, the students, the temporary foreign nationals in Canada will be lowered down significantly. Okay, so the number of students, the number of the workers who are coming to work, particularly on the low wage jobs, and the visitors. So out of these temporary resident categories, which consist of visitors, workers, and the students, I personally feel that the visitors are the one that are going to see a sudden decrease in numbers. Okay, so if you are going to call upon your mom, dad, brother, sister, or anybody from your back home, those kind of applications will get significantly impacted. If somebody is coming to Canada on a with a visitor visa to seek asylum, will get impacted. If somebody is coming to Canada on a visitor visa to potentially look for studies, work, etc., will get impacted. So the visitor as a category out of the temporary foreign nationals, in my opinion, will be the one where the scrutiny will be more stringent, and therefore there will be a reduction in the numbers. Thirdly, discretionary applications. The biggest of all are the refugees and the HNC application. Now, these are unrelated applications. Sometimes people relate HNC with the refugee application, but they're not really similar. Refugees and humanitarian and compassionate grounds applications, where a certain discretion is required by the minister or the senior immigration official to make a decision. Those are the kind of categories, the immigration categories, that will get negatively impacted. So I work personally on a lot of humanitarian and compassionate grounds applications, and I don't see a lot of rejections. Okay, I'm not saying that every application is becoming successful, but the number of applications getting rejected, at least got rejected in 2024 so far, and in the previous years, were not that great. I would imagine there will be a drop in acceptance when it comes to HNC applications. There will be a way more scrutiny on those whose refugee cases will be transferred to IRB for a hearing. So those are the discretionary applications, and those applications or immigration categories will get negatively impacted. There will be a more stringent criteria in order for you to become a Canadian citizen. Now, if you remember, The criteria used to be 4 years out of 6 years. The Liberal came, they changed it to 3 years out of 5 years. I firmly believe that is going to go back to 4 years out of 6 years for the Canadian citizenship. So it will take more number of years for you to be eligible, to become eligible to be a Canadian citizen. Okay, for permanent residencies, I would like to imagine or believe that there will be more stringent criteria when it comes to your residency obligations. So if you're leaving Canada without a valid PR card, and if you're not able to come back, and as a process, if your PR card is expired, and if you're looking for a permanent residency travel document based on humanitarian and compassionate grounds, those are again the kind of applications that will most likely get negatively impacted if there is a change in government or if there is an election sometime in the future. So I know there is this lot of negative coming down, cuttling down, and all those things I'm talking about. But again, you can do your own research about the previous policies of the Conservative government led by Mr. Stephen Harper and sort of correlate that with the current government. You will yourself realize. Please understand that there is a strong sentiment, okay, there is a strong voter fatigue against Mr. Justin Trudeau, and there is a very likelihood that he will be removed and there will be a change in government. So all these changes that I'm anticipating may actually come true not very far off from now, okay, because the NDP has broken down with Liberals, and we are all hoping an election will be very soon. And for somebody like myself, who have been living in Canada for a relatively long time, I could tell you from my personal experience talking to my neighbors and sort of understanding the overall situation, there is a strong dissatisfaction with the current government, and there is a very highly likelihood that the Conservatives will come in power. So if you are planning for your immigration sometime in 2025 or sometimes currently, for example, factor in all those changes before investing your hard-earned time, money, and energy. It is for your best interest to understand if it is going to even work for you or not, because paying more money to somebody does not mean a guaranteed immigration or a guaranteed entry to Canada. Okay, so understand all these aspects, read through prominent newspapers here in Canada to keep yourself updated with the political developments, because that is changing very fast, and probably it will be even more volatile in the weeks to come. So keep yourself updated with that. As and when we get some more news about about the elections, I'm going to share on this channel. This is not a political channel, but the kind of changes that I'm anticipating and the kind of changes that people are anticipating in general with there is when there is a change in government are real and will have a substantial impact, be it positive or negative, on the people's lives. So it is important that we talk about politics for a bit, at least when we have the next election, till the time we have the next election. If you need our professional assistance with your immigration application evaluation, the situation evaluation, procedural fairness, etc., more than welcome to hop into our website, nuvonation.ca, book a relevant professional consultation. I'll be more than happy to have a case-specific discussion with you, and we can go from there. Till then, take care. Bye now.